Just imagine, you are standing in front of a doll that looks completely normal. A wooden face, small eyes, and a little smile. But the problem is that this doll is considered one of the most famous haunted dolls in the world. It is claimed that the glass door of its display case opens by itself at night. And sometimes, its eyes and mouth can also be seen moving. Now the question is, are these things really connected to some supernatural power? Or do fear, rumors, and the human mind come together to create stories that we eventually start believing are real? In today's video, we are going to learn about 7 mysterious and terrifying stories like these. And by the time we reach number 7, you may not even be able to decide which of these stories is actually closer to the truth. For the next approximately 18 months, Billy and Mr. Fritz performed small comedy shows inside the prisoner camp. Just imagine, in a place where people had lost their freedom, a small doll was bringing smiles to people's faces. But shortly before the war ended, the story took a terrifying turn. It is said that Billy Booth and some of his fellow prisoners were taken outside the camp and shot. When the war ended, Billy's friends took Mr. Fritz to his family. The doll had now become Billy's last memory. But after that, stories of strange incidents involving the doll began to appear. After it reached a collector, it was claimed that every morning the glass door of Mr. Fritz's display case was found open inside the showroom. At first, they thought that perhaps the lock was broken, but when it started happening again and again, the doll was moved to a garden shed. Then the children claimed that they could hear sounds like laughing and crying coming from the shed at night. Later, the doll reached the collection of an entertainer, where once again there were claims that the display case opened by itself, and a CCTV recording of this doll also circulated, which was claimed to show the case door opening and the doll's face moving. But was this really paranormal activity? Or was it a camera issue, a mechanical problem, or simply a trick of human perception? There is still no definite answer. Number 2. Mun Nochwa, the creature that terrified entire villages. Now let's go to India. The year was 2002. In eastern parts of Uttar Pradesh and surrounding villages, a strange rumor suddenly began spreading. People started saying that an unknown creature was roaming around in the darkness at night, and it would suddenly attack people, scratch their faces, and run away. People gave it a name, Mun Nochwa. Some people said that it had red eyes. Someone described it as looking like a cat, and some people even claimed that it could fly through the air. The problem was that as one person's story reached another person, the fear continued to grow. As soon as night came, people stopped going outside their homes. In many places, people began standing guard at night with sticks. And if even a small sound came from outside a house, the entire neighborhood would gather. Some people were also reported to have been injured. But when police officers and doctors investigated these incidents, there was no reliable evidence of any unknown creature. Experts suggested that many of the injuries could have been caused by falling, hitting bushes, or running away in panic. And then an interesting concept came forward: mass hysteria. This means that when a frightening rumor spreads so quickly that people begin connecting ordinary incidents with the same fear. To this day, there is no scientific evidence that Mun Nochwa actually existed. But this incident did prove one thing: sometimes fear itself can become a force powerful enough to control an entire society. Number 3. The Bell Witch, who terrified an entire family. The year was 1817. In the state of Tennessee, America, a farmer named John Bell lived with his family. One day, John saw a strange animal in his field. It looked like a dog, but there was something different about it. John fired at it, and it is claimed that the animal suddenly disappeared. A few days later, strange sounds began coming from the Bell family's house. Knocking on the walls, footsteps on the roof, sounds like chains being dragged. But whenever the family went outside, there was nobody there. The person who became most disturbed was John Bell's daughter, Betsy Bell. She claims that at night, an unknown force pulled her hair and slapped her. Some people also claim to have seen marks of injury on her body. Then came a time when this unknown force allegedly started speaking. It gave its name, Kate. It is said that this voice spoke to the Bell family and even knew verses from the Bible. When the news spread, people started coming to the house from faraway places. And then another surprising claim became part of the story. It was said that Andrew Jackson, who would later become an American president, also came to the area and that his companions experienced strange things. But the historical accuracy of these claims is still debated. In 1820, John Bell became seriously ill and died shortly afterward. After his death, a story emerged about a bottle that was found containing some strange liquid. According to the legend, the mysterious voice claimed that it had killed John Bell. But the truth is that there is no scientific or medical evidence supporting this claim. That is why the Bell Witch is mostly considered a famous American folklore and paranormal legend. Number 4. The Black-Eyed Children. Now imagine this scene. It is around 2 o'clock in the morning. You are sitting alone in your car. Suddenly, 2 children come toward your car. They say, "Take us home." You look at them, and then you notice their eyes. There is no white part in their eyes at all, only complete blackness. This is the famous story of the Black-Eyed Children. During the 1990s, such stories began spreading rapidly across America, especially in paranormal communities and on the internet. The most famous account appeared in 1996, when a journalist named Brian Bethel claimed that 2 children asked him for a ride at night. At first, everything seemed normal, but as soon as he looked closely at the children's eyes, he suddenly felt extremely frightened. After that, similar stories began appearing from different parts of the world. People claimed that these children knocked on doors at night. Sometimes they said they needed to make a phone call. Sometimes they asked for water, and sometimes they asked to be allowed inside the house. But the strangest thing? They created fear simply through their eyes. Some people believe they are entities from another world, while skeptics say that this is simply an urban legend, and it is possible that some people may have mistaken contact lenses or children's eyes in darkness for something paranormal. But one question still remains. If this is only a legend, then why are so many of these stories so similar? Number 5. The Faces of Belmez, August 23, 1971. In a small village in Spain called Belmez, a woman named Maria Gomez was in her kitchen. Suddenly, she noticed a strange face on the floor. At first, it seemed like just a stain, but as people looked at it, the eyes, the nose, and the mouth became more visible. The family broke the floor and installed new cement, but a few days later, another face appeared on the new floor. Now the news had spread throughout the area. People started coming to see the house, and some people claimed that the expressions on the faces also changed over time. Sometimes the face appeared to be smiling, sometimes sad, and sometimes frightening. Then an excavation was carried out beneath the house. According to reports, old human remains and signs of graves were discovered there. After seeing this, paranormal investigators claimed that perhaps these faces were connected to the spirits of the dead. But scientists suggested other possibilities, such as moisture, chemical reactions, or even human interference. And that is why the Belmez faces remain a controversial mystery even today. Some people consider them a paranormal phenomenon, while others believe they were an elaborate trick. Number 6. The Silent Twin Sisters. This may be the strangest story of today's video. In 1963, two twin sisters were born in Aden. Their names were June and Jennifer Gibbons. Later, their family moved to Wales. The two sisters hardly spoke to anyone except each other. And the strangest thing, they spoke to each other in a language that other people could not understand. As they grew older, their relationship became even more unusual. They made similar movements, walked together, and many times it seemed as if they understood each other's minds without using words. During their teenage years, both became involved in different crimes and were eventually sent to Broadmoor Psychiatric Hospital. Doctors tried to keep them separated. But their condition began to get worse. At one point, both of them became extremely unresponsive. Eventually, they were kept together again. Then in 1993, while they were being transferred to another facility, Jennifer suddenly collapsed. She died after arriving at the hospital. And here the story takes a surprising turn. After Jennifer's death, June began returning to a relatively normal life for the first time. She started talking to people, and after some time, she was released from the hospital. Even today, the case of the silent twins is considered one of the strangest twin cases in the world of psychology. But the question is, did the two sisters really have some unusual mental connection? Or was their extremely complex psychological bond responsible for everything? Number 7. The Smurl House. And now we come to the final and perhaps the most famous case. In 1973, Jack and Janet Smurl moved with their family into an old duplex house in Pennsylvania. At first, everything was completely normal. But after some time, strange sounds began coming from the house. Knocking from inside the walls, a sudden bad smell, doors opening by themselves, and objects in the house moving. At first, the family thought that maybe these things were happening because the house was old. But then the alleged incidents became even stranger. The family claimed that an unknown force pushed them. Sometimes they saw a dark shadow inside the house. And one claim even stated that the family's dog was thrown against a wall by an invisible force. Eventually, the family contacted famous paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren for help. The Warrens claimed that several spirits were present in the house and that a powerful evil entity was also there. The case attracted media attention. Newspapers published stories. Television interviews were conducted. And later, books and movies were also made about the incident. But there is an important point here. There is no scientific evidence proving the Smurl House claims that all experts agree upon. So on one side, there are the claims of the family and paranormal investigators, and on the other side are skeptics who suggest natural or psychological explanations for the incidents. So these were 7 strange, mysterious, and terrifying stories from around the world. But there is one thing common in all of these stories. We humans are afraid of things we do not understand. And when we do not have a complete explanation for an event, our brain starts creating a story of its own. Sometimes that story becomes a haunted doll. Sometimes it takes the form of a mysterious creature. And sometimes it becomes the story of a house where objects move by themselves. But the real question is still the same. How many of these stories were actually real? And how many were simply the result of fear, rumors, and human imagination? I will leave that decision to you.